We got a little snow going on out here, but the work truck is safely tucked away in the shop. I think you know how the story goes. I was looking for like the ultimate work truck, you know, like big, beefy, dependable, and instead I ended up with this thing. Just got a couple little holes in here. By the way, if you're kind of wondering where the dirty stuff goes and the clean stuff here, it's all indicated in the box. Kind of sounds like this one might have come with some bonus supplies. Oh, we got some bracket type things. I like those. Similarly kind of beat up inside, but mainly just holes. I mean, I guess it just comes down to wanting fewer holes than this guy did. He was just really kind of into them, getting all the goop out of them. He had some, you know, like silicone in some of these guys. So I'm just using these kind of El Cheapo aluminum, I wouldn't even call them welding rods, kind of like melting rods. And they work pretty well in the small holes. Big holes, I'm not so sure. This stuff is funny. It's kind of like building a weld. You know, normally if you're welding with steel, you kind of like cook the side and then let that cool and cook the other side and kind of fuse it together. But this all kind of wants to live as one. So it's working out. I think I'll make this a patch, and then I'm probably still gonna like smear a little clear RTV on there. Just, you know, just to keep it totally watertight, but at least it's forming a plug. And you gotta think, do you maintain the patina? You know, you got like a little bit of moss and stuff, which I think lends to the authenticity of the boxes, you know? Do you keep them all kind of skankified a little bit? Or do you clean them up?
Use Ajax, the foaming cleanser. Cleans your stains just like a whiz. When you start cleaning with Ajax.
Ajax, the new scouring cleanser, foams as it cleans.
This is like straight up, you know, kind of like a spit shine. This is my mossy side. I'm kind of liking the spit shine. I did come back in on those aluminum patches and put a little bit of metal bonding epoxy on there, just to double, triple sure that they're nice and watertight. And then having made these holes, I gotta seal these guys like the other ones, probably with some goop, RTV, or something like that. We got a stiffness test here. Oh, that is good. That is very good. All right, shelf on this side. No shelf over here since I'm going with all the flammable stuff. Fire down here. Shelf down here. Now, I just want to recognize this is kind of messed up. Basically, I'm trying not to scratch the flatbed with the box on the work truck, but that's just because it hasn't got its first scratch yet. When it gets the first scratch, it's all gonna be good, but right now, I'm just kind of babying it. All right, box 2 is under development, and I did a similar kind of thing, top shelf. This will be the back. So the back end has the top shelf on this side. That way on the front end, I've got my power inverter up front. So that's the dude that turns my juice into alternating current, so I can charge up my batteries for my tools. If you haven't seen how I hook these guys up, I'll link a video here with a card. It's pretty straight up setup. Put your inverter pretty much wherever you want in the vehicle. Run power back to it from the battery and you're all good as long as it's grounded. I also put a shut off on it just so I can turn it off and not start as many fires as normal. We got just over 3.5 feet inside here. You know, I was thinking about going with the shag, but I just went with the basic stuff. This end isn't carpeted just because I don't want too much gas soaked carpet, just like a little bit. All right, now we got a tree to take out, but before we do that, let's just run through, just kind of like a quick run through of the basic first draft loadout of the tree truck. All right, so this side is all about the power saws. This is like the power side. Saws from small to big, I usually carry 4. A lot of flammables, and then saw tuning tools, chain sharpeners, stuff like that. And then smashed up here in the middle, so far, just a couple things. I got my 8-foot orchard ladder, I got my rake, and then I got my max tracks for getting out of a jam. And then this side is all about pruning, you know, like pruning stuff. So I got my pole saw. I've actually got 2 pole saws, this guy, and then my telescoping pole saw over here. I've got my drill and impact driver. It's just one of those things you don't leave home without. More pruning stuff, pruning shears, loppers, shovels in there. And then I put a piece of plywood on the back here in order to kind of lock stuff to the back. So just like my pruning saw that goes on the end of my pole saw, some loppers, extra helmet. I've got my dead tree cards that I drop off looking for work. And then I've got my inverter up front with my charger all good to go. And yes, they all lock. All right, the inside, basically 3 bins on this side. This is my, basic climbing gear, harnesses and lanyards and stuff like that. In here, I've got a couple sets of spurs and some backup gear. And then this is all just truck stuff, you know, like pull chains and jumper cables and ratchet straps and stuff like that. And then over on this side, maybe I'll pop this seat to give you a better look. I've got my axe bungeed right here and a pick a room. And then we got ropes up top. These are my main climbing ropes and rigging lines. I set up a fire extinguisher here. It's got a cool little pull knob so it just pops off. And then all this is just basic rope stuff. This is more short lines, then backup rigging stuff and an extra axe. All right, time to put this baby to work. And I got the brake controller set and dialed in with the trailer empty. Alright, so this is a dead tree across town. Not the biggest tree you've ever seen, but I think a good one to kind of warm up the tree truck.
State and local health departments have been sounding this alarm for months. Already substantially underfunded even prior to the pandemic.
All right, so you've had a look at the tree. It's got a pretty big canopy. There's just almost enough room right here. Almost enough room just shy of the trailer to put it down. So I think I'll do that. It's gonna make a big mess, but you know, I'd rather clean it up on the ground than start climbing this thing and piecing it apart. All right, so as my saw is warming up, I'm just gonna take the opportunity to thank you guys for checking out this series. The flatbed build was just so fun. You can see I got some dirt and mud on it, so it's kind of getting broken in. I don't know if you saw that little squirrel. It just waited to get all the way down and then it just ran off. No jumping. All right, the tree is in the trailer, and I'd say the truck is working out pretty good. I should just say here at the end that this isn't really a how-to video so much as just the story of how I did it. And man, it's nice to be out doing it. All right, thanks for checking it out. I'll see you in the next project.